Manqoba Kunu is standing by to give us more. Good morning to you, Manqoba. Can you summarize the judge's verdict for us?
Well, certainly more surprises here, Elvis, at the North Gauteng High Court as Judge Masipa delivered her judgment for the second day. Well, what we did see today is Oscar Pistorius being acquitted of some of the charges that he faced relating to the handling of firearms. We saw that he was acquitted on the second charge, which was that of shooting through the sunroof in September 2012. We did hear Judge Masipa expressing herself, saying that the state, the onus was on the state to prove beyond reasonable doubt that indeed Oscar Pistorius had negligently handled a firearm. And Judge Masipa and two assessors surely believe, and they say it, that the state in fact did fail to prove beyond reasonable doubt that Oscar Pistorius had committed a crime in this regard. She therefore acquitted the Paralympian of this particular charge. But what we did see is that he was found guilty on one of those charges, and that is the charge that relates to the shooting of a firearm at a restaurant. We recall that there was an incident in which Oscar and some of his friends were sitting at a restaurant in Rosebank at the Melrose Arc, and he accidentally discharged a bullet while they were sitting in a public space. Judge Masipa therefore felt that the state had proved beyond reasonable doubt that Oscar Pistorius was negligent in this regard. But the last charge, which was the possession of illegal ammunition, he was also acquitted on that one, as Judge Masipa felt that again the state had failed to prove beyond reasonable doubt that he had committed a crime in this regard. Right now, as we are waiting, we are expecting court to come back very soon. It's now a short interval that they've taken. We're expecting the two counsel, that's the defense and the state, to address the court. And we can speculate and really question and try and imagine what they will be talking about. The issues that are left here being the issue of the bail of Oscar Pistorius. As we know that after you are found guilty, usually in a court of law, that bail is revoked. So we are expecting that issue maybe to be talked about when the court resumes again. Also, another issue will then be the issue of the sentencing hearings, which we are expecting to take shortly. They usually take about 4 to 5 weeks before those can take place. That is the mitigation of sentence, where Oscar Pistorius' lawyers will then be presenting their case why he should get a lighter sentence. The state is also going to oppose this lighter sentence. So we're expecting some sort of clarity as to when that process will take place.
Reporter on the scene, Manqoba Kunu from the High Court in Pretoria. Now, earlier, Judge Thokozile Masipa gave an account on how the court reached its decision, starting with count 1.
The state has failed to prove that the accused had the necessary animus to possess the ammunition. He therefore cannot be found guilty on this count. In conclusion, I'd like to recap on the 4 counts that the accused has been found guilty of. Count 1. In respect of count 1, the allegation was that the accused and the deceased had an argument that the deceased ran and locked herself in the toilet, and that the accused followed her there and fired shots at her through the locked door. 3 shots struck her and she died as a result. Evidence led by the state in respect of this count was purely circumstantial. It was not strong circumstantial evidence. Moreover, the evidence of various witnesses who gave evidence on what they heard, in what sequence, and when, proved to be unreliable. The accused denied the allegations. Notwithstanding that he was an unimpressive witness, the accused gave a version which could reasonably possibly be true. In criminal law, that is all that is required for an acquittal, as the onus to prove the guilt of an accused beyond reasonable doubt rests with the state throughout.
Now, while we're waiting for the court to resume, let's take a look at what you have to say on social media. This one from the General says, "I'm so disappointed with the verdict. And I hope that Gerrie Nel will appeal on legal terms in error at Oscar Trial 199, Oscar Trial, that is from the General. Natasha says, I cannot believe this. Culpable homicide and not murder? The justice system needs a relook. Accused has more room than the victim. Hashtag at Oscar Trial, says Natasha. Why Werner says, Masipa is following the law and explaining her reasons. Hashtag neutral view, hashtag my view, and hashtag Oscar Trial. Andy says, money, race, fame or favor had nothing to do with the trial. Poor evidence led to this judgment. The law is the law. Hashtag Oscar Trial. Harry Balberni says, wrong decision, but personally, I don't think it's fair to televise anyone's court case, no matter who they are. Hashtag Pistorius. Oladayo says, Pistorius, I really don't know what to say, but it's better that he is guilty of something like culpable homicide. Ramon Yosef says, had to be guilty of culpable homicide if not murder. He fired 4 shots that killed someone. He took a life, so he must answer for it. That's hashtag Pistorius. Now, those are some of your comments on social pages. You can keep them coming and we'll read them as we continue. But continuing with her judgment, Judge Masipa had this to say on the related charges against Oscar Pistorius.
I'm dealing with count 2 in a summary form. In this count, the state alleged that in September 2012, while driving in a vehicle with other passengers on a public road, the accused unlawfully discharged a firearm without good reason to do so by firing a shot with a 9mm pistol through the open sunroof. The alternative count is that the accused discharged a firearm to wit, his 9mm pistol, with regard for the other passengers, with disregard for the other passengers in the car and or in the vicinity. On this count, the state failed to prove the guilt of the accused beyond reasonable doubt. In respect of count 3, 2013 at Church's Restaurant, a public place, the accused unlawfully discharged a firearm to wit, a Glock 27 pistol, without any good reasons to do so. The first alternative is that at the same place on the same day, the accused negligently used a firearm to wit, a Glock 27 pistol, and caused damage to the floor of the restaurant. The second alternative to this count is that at the same place and the same day, the accused discharged a firearm to wit, a Glock pistol, at a table in the restaurant among other patrons in a manner likely to endanger the safety of the people at his table and or other patrons and the property of the restaurant. The accused had, in discharging the firearm mentioned, shown a reckless disregard for the safety of the patrons of the property of the restaurant. Count 4, the allegation was that on about 16 February 2013, at or near 286 Bushwillow Street, Silverwoods, Country Estate, Silver Lakes, in Pretoria, the accused was unlawfully in possession of ammunition to wit 38.38 rounds without being the holder of a license in respect of a firearm capable of discharging that ammunition, a permit to possess ammunition, a dealer's license, gunsmith license, import, export, or in transit permit, or transporter's permit issued in terms of the Firearm Control Act number 60 of 2000, or is otherwise authorized to do so. In respect of this count, the state failed to prove beyond reasonable doubt all the elements of the charge.
That's Judge Masipa handing down judgment in Oscar Pistorius trial. As soon as they're back in court, we'll be crossing there live. But right